As we welcome you into this special KOIN Now Trailblazers draft preview. We are excited. The countdown is on. So we're just hours away from day one of the 2025 NBA draft, tipping off tonight in Brooklyn. Of course, the Blazers with that number 11 overall pick. This is KOIN Now. I'm Jaime Hudson, joined by Brenna Greene. Hi, Brenna.
Hello, Jaime.
How's it going?
Oh, just ready for a chaotic night in the draft. I think
Yes.
If anything, this NBA season has taught us that there's going to be a lot more twists and turns this night, and don't try to anticipate that because it's gonna be crazy no matter what.
No kidding. I mean, this week already started out crazy. So let's go back to Monday night when the reports came out that the Trailblazers were making a trade with the Celtics. Anthony Simons heading to Boston in exchange for Jrue Holiday. Now that you've had a couple days to process that, Brenna, what do you think this means for the franchise, and where are they going from here? What direction do you see them going?
I think I understand the trade. It's one of those trades that you have a lot of questions about, but you also understand the thought process of it. You know, the number one thing that jumps out to me with it is this is a Blazers team that has really not had a quote-unquote leader on this squad for ever since Damian left. You know, as much as we love Anthony, we love Jeremy, they're not the type of people that come into a room and take charge. They're more lead by example guys. And
yeah.
So when you get someone like Jrue, you're getting somebody who can come in and be an adult in the room. So that is something that I think this team really, really needs outside of, the obvious things on the court. But yeah, I mean, I think it's been a long time to trade Anthony. In fact, I think that you could make a case that this should have happened a year ago at the very least. So, kind of surprised it took this long, to be honest with you, but I was also equally surprised that it happened the way it did. So there you go.
Yeah, thinking about the timing, I expected it this offseason because, just like you said, we thought it was probably going to happen last season. Like, you're moving on, this young core, that's what you're building around. Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe. But to have this happen before the draft makes me feel like, Brenna, that this is just the beginning of moves for the Blazers this offseason. Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I mean, I think this is just the beginning for an absolutely chaotic NBA offseason. If these last few days have been any indication, the Blazers will not be the only team making moves. This is going to be a league-wide yard sale, I'm feeling. So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting next few days, with the draft and leading up to free agency and everything like that, to see how things, how the cookie crumbles, you might say. But yeah, I definitely don't think the Blazers are done making moves. The obvious next move is finding a landing spot for Jeremy Grant. He does not fit their timeline in terms of age. And also, they've kind of found their forwards of the future in Denny and Tumani. So it would definitely not surprise me if he is the next Blazer to be headed somewhere else.
So my question to you is, do you see Jrue Holiday then staying here? Obviously, Blazer fans remember how he was quickly flipped in 2023.
The franchise has been that he is going to stay, that they want him here, that they want him for his leadership and for his defense. There's a lot of people wondering if Jrue's going to start or Scoot's going to start. A lot of people saying, they've handed the keys to Scoot. I'm not so sure they've handed the keys to Scoot here. I personally don't see them bringing Jrue Holiday off the bench, but maybe I'm crazy. At the very least, this gives, I understand the thought process of this gives Scoot a runway to be the point guard of the future, but to learn under someone where he can really develop his leadership tools and, just learn how to be a pro from somebody. Because I'm not saying that Anthony or Jeremy aren't pros, but Jrue's just well known as one of the best leaders in the league. So I would not be surprised if it turns out either way. But as of right now, the messaging from the franchise is that Jrue is staying.
No, I'm with you. I think he's going to be a great fit under Coach Chauncey Billups, too.
Yes.
You think about Billups' defensive schemes, and I think Coach Billups is excited to have him now on the roster. So let's get into the draft, shall we, Brenna?
Yeah.
All right, let's take a live look over Portland Moda Center. It's a cloudy day, but it's going to be a party out there at Moda Center, and I know you will be there, Brenna. The block party gets underway, what, 4:30?
4:30, yep.
4:30, perfect. We both have decided to put together our 3 options, so draft prospects for the Trailblazers at number 11, and we did not share it with each other. Do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
I can go first.
I'm going to
Yeah.
pull up your graphic. I have
Okay.
not looked at this.
Okay.
I wanted to. I was very curious to see your 3 options for the Blazers
Yes.
with their number 11 pick. Okay, the big reveal. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay, talk me through this.
Okay, I'm going. My number 1 pick right now is Carter Bryant.
Mm-hmm.
The acquisition of Giroux clearly signals that this team is going to be a defense-first team. And Carter Bryant is well known for his defense. I'm not sure if he's going to be there at number 11. It would not surprise me if he is taken before that. But that is kind of his calling card as his defense. Same situation with Colin Murray-Boyles. I also, one of the things of this that I mentioned, I think that they really want to have a clear runway. I do believe that they want to have a clear runway for Scoot. And they want to give him more opportunities, even if I do believe that Giroux's going to end up starting at the point guard role. I could be wrong. And so I don't know if they really want to bring in another point guard right now. And my other thought is, I also said that Jeremy, I would not be surprised if Jeremy is not a member of this team starting next year. So bringing in somebody to back up Denny and Tumani, I think could be something that they see as helpful. So yeah, Colin and Carter are well known for their defensive skill set, and then Noah Asingay, he plays for a team in Germany. He has not worked out for any squads in America because they are still in playoffs over there. In fact, he had to skip his German league finals to be at the NBA draft. So he's not with his team right now. He is in Brooklyn. But Noah and his team played the Blazers in a preseason game earlier this year, and Noah put up 20. So this is something that already happened in Moda. Like, they saw him in person in Portland earlier, in like October or whatever time of the year it was that they played. I would assume it was October. So. So I'm like, well, that's kind of my fun pick. And Noah's range, man, is all over the place. Like, this guy could be taken in the top 10 and not be there anymore. And then I've seen him all the way down at like 22 on other draft boards. I mean, I want to say this. I looked at like 5 or 6 mock drafts last night. All of them had a different player the Blazers were picking. There is no consensus when it comes to the range that the Blazers are in. So this really could be anybody. All right, Jamie, give me yours.
Okay. Well, we do have one pick that is the same.
Okay.
And you could probably guess it.
Uh-huh.
All right. So, yes, I am going with Carter Bryant as their number 1 best fit. Mm-hmm. If, in fact, they do keep this pick and actually select at number 11.
Yes.
Because that's a whole nother thing.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I think Carter Bryant, just like you mentioned, Brenna, he could definitely go before the Blazers are picking at number 11, 9, 10. And that would be really too bad because I'm with you. He feels like the Tumani Kamara type of player, but maybe even with a better shot, a jump shot, at least at his young age of 19 right now.
Yep.
Now, I say option 2A is a trade. Trading this pick.
Yeah, no, I'm with you there.
But then option...
Package it with Jeremy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Option 2B is Yegor Demon out of BYU.
One of the people I was familiarized with last night.
This is a lengthy guard.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I've seen, let's back up here. Back up because height, I know we got to go by combine because the height of draft prospects, it can really be a wide range. I mean, I've seen Jaeger is at 6'8", 6'6".
Do not trust an athletic department's website for height.
Right?
Okay, that's like rule number 1 plus. All right, continue.
Yes. But Jaeger, he's lengthy. He's not going to get you a ton of buckets. That's the thing. It's all about his playmaking. I mean, at BYU this last season, his court vision was on display. He averaged over 5 assists per game. Blazer fans, after many years of having some smaller guards, undersized guards with Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum, I think they welcome that idea of those taller guards. Now, do they need a guard? Maybe not. Maybe they are going to flip Drew Holiday. I still think that is a possibility.
I agree with you. It's totally a possibility.
I mean, actually, anything is possible.
Especially if he, I don't give a lot of credence. There was some reporting yesterday that he was, quote unquote, pissed about being traded to the Blazers. But that wasn't from anybody who's like very high up there in the NBA echelon, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I don't totally trust it right now, but it wouldn't surprise me if that was his reaction to it. So, we'll see how things happen there. But yeah, he could totally be a part of this team come October, and he could totally not be. Yeah.
We probably wouldn't be surprised either way.
Either way.
No.
Nope.
No. What do you think of my third guy here?
Yeah.
That was my wild card.
That's interesting. You know what? We discussed that you had a wild card. I did not think this was going to be your wild card.
Yeah, you said like an hour ago. You're like, oh, I have an idea of that third option.
Who do you think that I thought the third option was?
I don't know. Did you think I thought someone might drop down to 11? No. A local guy, maybe?
No.
Okay.
No.
Who?
There's only one local guy, and Ben Gregg is fantastic, and I obviously have a very good relationship with him, but I did not see Ben Gregg going 11.
I'm thinking our Cedric Coward guy.
Yes.
Local ties, I should say, right?
Yes.
Oh no, who did you think?
I thought maybe you might get real wild here and put Ryan Nembhard here since we both went to Gonzaga.
You know I wanted to. Yes. I mean, hello, look at his brother. Go, Andrew.
Yeah.
Okay, but Jace Richardson, he's an undersized guard, so that probably doesn't appeal to a lot of Blazer fans, but he does have a 6'6" wingspan, and yes, his father is Jason Richardson. And I'm about this day and age, when you have an NBA father, like,
pedigree matters.
The pedigree definitely matters. So that's why I went with Jace Richardson.
Why not?
I know. Yeah, seriously. Okay, that was fun. I like your picks.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, we had some consensus and we had some dissension. I like it.
Yes. Okay, so let's talk more about the block party happening at Moda Center tonight. What do you know about what's going down with all the NBA draft coverage over there?
Well, I mean, I think it's interesting that they decided to put it outside this year because last year it was inside the Moda. So I would imagine there's going to be a lot more activities going on per se, since they're putting it outside. So we'll see how things look. But yeah, I mean, I'm going to be there for a few hours, and then we jet over to the practice facility because Joe Cronin does his press conference after the first round is done, which, by the way, shout out to the NBA for moving the draft to 2 days so that we don't have to sit there for hours and hours and hours waiting for Joe Cronin to come talk to us after the second round is done. That's always that was a fun time crunch 3 years ago. What was it, 2 years ago? I guess it was 2 years ago. Yeah, and last year it worked out so that when the Blazers do a quick Zoom with whoever they draft for the local media, it's probably like 5 minutes or so. And last year I was literally in the car, pulled up my little jetpack, my Verizon jetpack, logged onto the Zoom, and did the Zoom while we were driving down I-5. So we'll see if we're in a similar situation with that this year. But yeah, so it's kind of one of those days where you're there for the draft party, but then you immediately jet to the practice facility because we got more things to do once the Blazers make this pick. Their only pick of the draft right now.
That's right.
Yep.
Shout out Verizon, by the way.
Yeah. Plug.
Yeah. That's awesome. Oh, okay, we're getting excited. So we will be tuning in to KOIN 6, KOIN Plus, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock. You will be joining us, so we'll get some live reaction
And
from
6,
Moda Center.
Whenever the pick is in.
That's right.
Yes.
That's the big one.
Yep.
Love it. Okay, thanks so much, Brenna.
Yes.
This was fun.
Yeah.
Our little special KOIN Now Trailblazers Draft Preview edition. Tune in tonight, 4, 5, and 6, and then you will
11.
also hear from Joe Cronin in our late newscast. Sweet. All right. Thanks, Brenna.
Bye.